Hello, the purpose of this video is to show you the new behavior tracking spreadsheet that was created recently for our district. This spreadsheet is located on our middle school SharePoint site. In order to get there, you'll scroll down on our homepage, click on Staff Resources, scroll down and find Office 365. Clicking on it will bring up the tools that we have in Office 365, of which one is SharePoint. Click on it. Under your Recents area on the left-hand side, you'll most likely find the Milton Area Middle School. If not, you will have to search a little for it. Clicking on it will bring you to our Milton Middle School SharePoint site. One thing you might want to do right away is click on Documents on the left-hand side. This cleans up your screen a little bit and makes things easier to find. There's a folder called MASD Behavior Tracking. Clicking on it will bring you to where our tracker is located. You'll notice right away Amber Kaminsky's been busy. She's created several behavior tracker sheets for her students that she's currently tracking. Okay. To make your life a little easier at this point in time, I would bookmark this site so you won't have to go through all the steps and opening up all these tabs like we just did. In Chrome, in order to do this, you'll click on the star up in the upper right-hand corner. Clicking on it will bring up the name that's automatically applied to this spreadsheet. I'm going to delete all of that in the name box and then just type in a BT for Behavior Tracker. Make sure that it's located on your bookmarks bar. You may have to drop this down and make sure you choose the bookmarks bar. And then click Done. That creates a SharePoint logo beside the letters BT for Behavior Tracker. Now getting to this screen will be a whole lot easier. All right. First thing you want to do when you're in this screen is to make a copy of the template, just like Amber did here. She's customized our template a little bit, so we put her name after her copy. This template is crucial that you don't enter any information into it because it will be used over and over for the different students that we are tracking the behavior for. Alrighty. In order to create your own copies, you'll position your mouse on the file itself and right-click. We're going to choose Copy To. Choosing that option opens up a panel on the right side. We're going to put it into the current library and find the folder that is called MASD Behavioral Tracking. Clicking on it will put you here. You're just going to click Copy here, and your file will be now located here as well. Alrighty. Now I'm going to make my row or my column a little bit bigger, and you'll see the only difference between the original and the new one is they place a number 1 there. Alrighty. So we're going to right away rename this new file. We're going to uncheck the old one. We're going to once again position our mouse on top of this file, the new one with the number 1 on it, and we're going to right click and choose Rename. Right away, let's erase template 1 all the way back to the word tracker and go to the beginning of it and erase the tilde also. The tildes are there, by the way, to make sure that the template files are always at the top of our list. All right, it's a nice little tidbit of information for you to know. If you put the tilde there on files, they'll always be at the top. For now, though, let's just type in the student's last name, the student's first name, and then click on Save. That makes it so your initial template stays intact, and you now have a file, a behavior tracker spreadsheet for your student. Alrighty, let's open up this and get working on it a little. Know this though, before we do, it is crucial to know that with Excel, you don't want to open up this file in the program of Excel. You only want to stay in the online version. The reason why is because if you open it up in the software version, you are the only one that's able to work on it. You cannot collaborate in the software version. You can only collaborate in the online version. So if you want to just always keep the students' files open in their online version, you're more than welcome to do so because it is able to be collaborated on in that version. Okay, so let's open it up. Just with the check mark still in it, just click on the file itself and it opens up in a new tab at the top of your screen. Alrighty, let's take a look at this. Notice that January is out of line. I'll put that back where it needs to be. Sorry. That there's a month for each one of tab for each one of the months of the school year. So this one file will be good for the entire school year. There's no need to create a new one each month or each week or so on. Alrighty. Let's check out the first tab first though. Directions for use. If you want to read this more thoroughly on your own, please do so. Know that the first few items under the directions for use we've already done together. It just will recap how to create your own files and keep the tracking spreadsheet, the template, intact and so on. So if you forget how to download a file, come here and it'll tell you. The other thing that's important underneath the directions for use is this highlighted area. Know this, that it's pivotal that if a student is absent or the class doesn't meet due to an assembly or some event, don't put an A or an X or anything like that in the spreadsheet. Just leave it blank because the formulas that are in the spreadsheet will be distorted if you put in anything other than numerical data like 0 through 10. Okay? All right, general information. Again, middle school, you'll be putting in 0 through 10. I'm sorry, I have 1 through 10 here. Should be 0 through 10. And know this, that when you enter in the numerical data, the charts, both the pie chart and the column chart, will be updated automatically, as well as the monthly total column that is on the right-hand side. You'll see that in just a second when we go see the spreadsheet. Know this also, that class 1, class 2, class 3, etc. On the left-hand side of the spreadsheet, when you change at the very top under the first goal, it'll automatically reflect that change wherever class 1 is located throughout the spreadsheet for each goal, and the legend down in the pie charts. Alrighty, you'll see that in just one second. And know this, that if you wish to do so either weekly or monthly, if you want to print out the charts themselves or the spreadsheets themselves for parents to sign and the student to sign, it's set up that they'll print out each goal per page, and we'll see that in just a second also. Okay, let's take a look at it. Let's go to December. Alrighty, first thing you'd want to do is type in the student's name up here. Milton Mary Middle School is automatically there for you. You want to type in the homeroom teacher and the grade that the student is in. Alrighty. Each month is designed that if a student has up to 3 goals, you can place them all in the one spreadsheet. Here's the goal 1 in row 4. And row 35 is for goal 2. And row 65 is goal 3. Each batch of information in here is identical, and it will automatically reflect the changes in both the pie chart and the column chart. Alrighty. In order to type in a goal, you'll position your mouse on right where it says goal 1 and double click, and you could type in the student goal number 1 here. Okay. Alrighty. Know this also, in the online version, I apologize that the dates aren't really clear. The reason why is for the dates here and these columns here that are weekly totals, I do have the print on those to be aligned vertically instead of horizontally, but the online version doesn't show that kind of formatting. So just know that if you downloaded a copy, the dates would be definitely viewable because they are up and down or vertical viewed instead of horizontal. Alrighty? So, like I said before, every time you'll come in here, if you wish to change these class 1 through 7, if you change it to, say, language arts, typing it in here, you'll notice that it changed right away down here in the legend area of the pie chart and the column chart. But you'll also notice if you scroll down that goal 2, if you have one for the student, also changed, as well as goal 3. Okay, so you just have to type in the student's class names one time. It will reflect that change throughout it. Okay, all right, let's plug in some data. Let's pretend that it is December 3rd, and we're going to put in some of the students' data that they had that day. Okay, a couple of things you want to see. Is that down here, the daily, weekly totals in row 14, you'll see that the student currently scored a 71% for that day. So if you had a goal set that they were scoring 75% or better, they did not meet that criteria for that day. So at a glance, you would be able to see exactly how they did. I also have it designed so you'll have a weekly total too. So it's at the end of each week, you'll see what kind of score they scored overall for the entire week. Alrighty. It will also count up a total for the entire month for that particular class. So all of language arts, at a glance, you'll be able to see that it should be about 140 is the perfect score. And it'll keep total for you for the entire month. Alrighty? Not only does it change there, but it also will change your pie charts down here as well. And this is kind of valuable information because at a glance you can tell that for this one day at least, this student scored fairly well in class number 4. So it may be worth looking into what class number 4 was compared to, say, class number 7 where they only scored an 8%. So it might look into maybe this teacher's doing using a different strategy that this teacher may be using, maybe something happening during this class. It might be worth looking into. Okay, the perfect pie chart would be around 14% for each class because there are 7 classes out of the 100% there. Okay, anyway, the behavior chart over here on the right hand side is called a stat column chart. It is more effective maybe if you have a wider spread range of data. Let's try that one. Let's put a 2 and a 10 and a 5 and a 2 and filling it out. Okay, you'll see that at a glance you could tell that the student didn't do well in his red and his green, and you'd come up here in language arts in class 4 is where he struggled that day, and it might be able to worth looking into. Now the more data that you get through this, the more impactful it will become, and you'll see that when he or she had a lower column compared to a higher column, and you'll be able to see some patterns possibly forming in their behavior. Alrighty. Again, this will be for one goal. If the student has the second goal, you can just scroll down and type in those numbers as well. Alrighty. Now, say that it is the end of the week or the end of the month, and you do want to print one of these copies out so the student can take it home to have themselves sign it and their parents sign it. In order to do so, you'll want to close it from here, make sure that everything is exactly how you want it to be. Close it from here. It'll take you back to the SharePoint site. At this point in time, you're ready to download it in order to print. Printing it from the online version is not as printer friendly as it is the software version. So let's download it and take a copy there. Alrighty. In the Chrome version, you'll click download and it will place the file at the bottom of your screen. The Edge version and Firefox is a little bit differently, but just know that all 3 of them put this file into a folder called downloads. To access that easily, you'll click on the yellow file folder at the bottom of your screen, and after a second or two on the left hand side you'll see a folder called downloads. Clicking on it will allow you to go through all the files that are here and ignore the fact that I have a lot of them. And I want this one, so I'm going to open that one up, and this is the file that we just finished our working on. I'll click enable editing and assure myself that I'm on the right month. I'm on to the December month, all right, and all my data is correct. I'll go to File and choose Print. And notice, like I said earlier, when you do print these out, each one of the goals, you'll notice this goal 2 and goal 3, each one of them will be printed on a different piece of paper. So at this point in time, if you had a student like we do here that only has one behavioral goal, you want to go to the Pages area and type in a 1 to 1. So then you won't have to waste paper and print out the other 2 blank goal sheets. Alrighty. I would not recommend deleting those goal sheets because you don't know for sure. Maybe they'll have another goal later on that month designed. Alrighty, so keep those there. Alrighty, if you want to print these in color, remember, in order to do so, you'll go to Printer Properties, and in the dialog box that pops up, you'll go to image options and uncheck the box that says Xerox black and white. Going back to printing options, know this, if you do have more than one goal, you might not want to put them on the same piece of paper because it might be a little harder to read. So I would drop this down and choose one-sided printing as well. And then click OK. And then click print. Alrighty. At this point in time, you are done with your downloaded version. So once it's done with the printing cycle, you can close it and that puts you back to here. And you're done. If you have any questions about this process, please let a coach know or Mr. Scoggins, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you and good luck.